Good morning. Today is the 17th of November 2022. Although it doesn't sound it, I'm actually doing a lot better. It seems that the cold is going away. I hope so. I have errands to do today. Yes, I'll be wearing the mask just in case it's still lingering. Although, from the research I've done, yes, I Googled it. The research I've done, the cold shouldn't be as contagious today as it would have been a couple of days ago, 4 days ago. That said, better safe than sorry. I'm here to help out my fellow citizens. If I need to wear a mask, I wear a mask. Today, something's on my mind, a little bit more of an introverted vlog or vodcast, whatever these are called. What inspired this is if you remember a couple of days ago, I had a what we used to call back in the day a senior moment where I was talking and I didn't know what I was talking about. Even though I knew what I was talking about, the words were not forming. The brain was not helping me out to express myself. That's part of the spinal cord injury. That it's more acute. The more stressed my body is, as you could tell if you watch that video. Anyways, what that sort of inspired me today is to give you my origin story. Why? Because while I can remember it, maybe I'd like to record it because the principal characters are no longer with us or they're fading from memory, and now all I have are the memories which they told me growing up. Of course, my siblings would know it, but I think I know it better in the sense of it happened to me, so I would recall and or they just told me. And you know what it's all about me. Anyways, my mom was apparently 8 months pregnant with me, and she was doing errands, which is not surprising if you know my mom. She was one of those. I got things to do. It doesn't matter that I've got an 8 month fetus in my belly. I got to get my groceries. I got to do this. I got to do that. Mums, they got things to do while they can still do it. She might take some time out to have the baby, but until then, there's work to be done. Anyways, apparently, and this is June, um, she had an accident. I wish I knew the specifics of said accident. My understanding is she eventually hit a telephone pole or an object with, of course, she was driving. So I'm assuming that the steering wheel hit her fetus, me, and they were rushed to the hospital. Um, at the hospital, they had to do an emergency. She still gave birth. It wasn't cesarean or anything like that. But the fetus, me, that came out was apparently kind of non-responsive. Apparently, I guess I know how a fetus is in the womb, but whatever. I'm assuming that my left side was facing the steering wheel. If you get my, or I guess, or maybe the way her body was, I don't know, whatever. The left side of my body was apparently crushed by the impact, and hence the eye, the brain injury. And apparently, I needed to be in an incubator for a month, at which point, and the doctors told my parents that they might not want to get too attached to me because the chances of me surviving are slim. It's possible, and if I survive, as my dad would say, I don't know if this is their term, it's his term, that I would be retarded. I know what they meant, that I'd be developmentally challenged, but that's the prognosis. Of course, that wouldn't necessarily matter. I know my folks. That would not matter. Regardless of my condition, they would love me, they would care for me, they would do what they could to give me the best chance in life that I would have. And So being warned of the worst case scenarios, trust me, I know a little bit about that. I'm constantly being told with my spinal injury, with my eye injury, that there are my operation that there's a 50-50 chance, and maybe there's a 60-40 chance. Like there, you need to know what the odds are so that you can prepare for them. Apparently, when I was home for the first 2 years, as the story is told to me, I was a very unresponsive child. Apparently, I didn't fuss for hunger. I didn't fuss for cold. The way a baby wakes up their folks at 2 in the morning, carrying on and whatnot, being babies. Apparently, I was not part of that cycle. They were, again, as the story was told to me, they were very concerned. But I know my folks. I know that regardless, they were there and they did what they could. I know I was, cared for. I know I was loved. And it would be what would be. Their religious faith helped them cope with the scenario, I'm assuming. And that's a good thing. I mean, sometimes a little bit of religion is what it takes to get you through the night, through the day even, through raising your kids even. And that's a good thing. Regardless, the one event, as it's been told to me, was about the time I was about 2. So I'm assuming at that time I should be already developing. I don't think I was even walking, as far as I know, or crawling. I could have been. The specifics I forget right now. I certainly wasn't communicative. Both of my folks had things to do, and their parents, my mother's parents, were living with the family, as it's like the life goes, and they were in charge of my care. Apparently, my granddad, silly guy, but he was. The way I reflect on it is he was using some old school logic on how to get me out of this comatose-esque state that I was in. He apparently tied an elastic band around my leg. I'm sure he was like, I'll get you to talk. I'll put you in so much pain. Trust me, you'll talk. Or not talk, but you'll start fussing. And it's, funnily, if that's a word, it kind of worked, because when my folks came home that night, they were noticing that, what's up with this George guy? He's usually just lying there, but now he's uncomfortable. What's going on here, right? And so they apparently inspected me. I don't know how they missed the elastic band. Maybe it was around my hip. I don't know, diapers and all that. For whatever reason, or they didn't think much of it. I don't know the nitty gritty of it. But the story, as it goes, is that night, as confused as they were over, but they were, I think, slightly encouraged, because apparently I was now reacting and acting differently than I did the previous 2 years. Long short of it is, in the middle of the night, they woke up to a wailing me. Apparently I was so much, yes, Granddad, you pulled it off. I was so bothered, irritated, upset over this slightly torture element that was going on with my leg, that I reacted. And this is how the reaction started. This is the genesis of it. My mom always finishes the story, and I love her dearly, and there's so much truth to this. She goes, and from that night on, he hasn't stopped talking since. Mom, I mean, yeah, she encapsulated the George phenomenon as great with one line, but that's my mom. Anyways, I did think I should get this story out there just for posterity. It is where I come from. There is some more elements to it. The eye is a reminder of what I went through. My general health has something to do with it too. Obviously, the brain injury has something to do with it too. The second, so I'm living through 2 of them, right? It's called life. Anyways, I just wanted to get this out, and before I have to go out there and do some chores. Anyways, have yourself a very good day. That's what's going on behind the patch this morning. Have a good day.